G'day everybody, welcome back to another episode of Craft by Tim. Oh, you've seen the thumbnail and you've seen the intro. We are going to be restoring this beautiful anvil. What is it? I have no idea. Hopefully I'll find like a name or a marking or something like this. I ain't gonna lie, I don't know much about anvils, and I'm hoping to learn a little bit throughout this process. To start off with, we're gonna take a angle grinder with a grinding disc on this, and we're just gonna go over some of these areas. There's a few areas that have some really deep cracks and chips. We're gonna try and get out as much of the cracking as possible, and then we're gonna go back over it and we're gonna re-weld it. I don't have all the tools for this, and I'm gonna do my best. The tools that you should be using is a blowtorch. Heat this up first so that try and get out as much of the moisture and everything like that, so you don't have any hydrogen impurities in your welding. So I'm gonna do the best that I can with what I've got. I've got an angle grinder and I've got a welder. Let's get started. So at this point in time, I'm in a little bit of a predicament. It seems like the cracks run most of the way through, which is obviously not a good thing. It also means that if I continue grinding, A, you're going to be grinding all day, and B, probably end up grinding through most of the material. So what I've done is I've taken it so it's sort of deep enough that I feel like a weld is going to help seal that crack. The several layers of weld on top of that I'm going to need to weld anyway is going to be enough to get it right back up to the point where, so that the material's all flush. I think that's also going to be strong enough that this should hopefully be fine. Keyword being hopefully, and key point, I have no idea what I'm doing. So now we're on to the welding portion. What I'm going to be using is these dissimilar metal welding rods for my arc welder. These are going to be my best bet for welding this, because this is most likely a high carbon faceplate and a cast steel body of some kind, I think. But first, we need some music. Let's try take 2. So it's now more or less done. I have come across basically just 2 main things. It's got the weight on this side, and then it's just got ER on this side, and I don't really know what that means. That's probably the end of this episode. So the next step would obviously be building a stand for this. For the stand, I'm actually going to go for a tripod stand rather than using a wooden stump. First of all, wooden stumps rot, so they don't last nearly as long. Second of all, apparently wooden stumps are actually louder when it comes to the ring of an anvil as opposed to those tripod-legged anvil stands. But on the topic of how loud does this anvil ring, let's give it a listen. That's some heavy metal. That pretty well finishes the video, but before I leave you guys, I just want to let you guys know about a little something that I discovered probably a few years ago. How do I say this? It's a very American thing. I'm not entirely sure how it got started, but regardless, it is a activity called Anvil Blasting. Basically, the way that this works is that you take a 40-kilo anvil, like the one that we got, you get 2 of those, you put one upside down on the ground, you put the other one on top of it. Of course, you also have to pack gunpowder in between them, and then set fire to it and run like hell. And with that, I would like to cap off this episode by saying, if you like this sort of thing, please do subscribe, because we're going to have much more blacksmithing related content once the weather starts to cool down. So I hope to catch you all in the next episode. In the meantime, please do remember to stay safe, happy crafting, and as always, cheers. I do not condone the blasting of any kind of anvils in an unregulated manner.